Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for tuning in to always entertaining, always informative, the Boxing Authorities. Joining me at the desk, as always, Luther Dupree Jr., Smoking Jim Frazier, and my name is Claudio Ralsano. This is part two of the big Saturday that a lot of great fights, big important fights. Luther, women's fights. We're going to dedicate a lot of the show to them today. Claressa Shields, who's now 13-0 with 2 knockouts, dominated Savannah Marshall 12-1 with 10 knockouts for the undisputed middle. She's undisputed everything. Your thoughts on the fight?
First of all, kudos to the women. Great card. You see Claressa Shields. She came in with the Rocky shorts, the red, white, and blue. She came in dancing, and she came in fire, throwing haymakers. I've never seen Savannah Marshall on the back up. She's doing her Fury, but she's getting hit. The Fury in her corner, but Shields came. She took some power shots. Savannah Marshall's a big woman, throws hard, but Shields was outstanding. You know, she had so many power punches. I was excited to see this fight, the whole card. Unlike the men, the best fight the best in women's boxing.
Right.
This is why the sport is so good and it's growing.
No marinating.
Yeah, no marinating fights. I love it. And these hands, and nobody's sitting taking a break. They're in each other's chest. The body work from Shields was great. You know, she got hit in the eye and said she couldn't see from the 6th round on and still fought. She is the heart of a champion. She's fighting for a cause bigger than her. And now I'm happy. You know, she said she can fight. She hadn't had sex in 5 weeks, and
don't throw him a softball.
She can't wait to go see her fiance.
Don't throw him a softball.
She did everything we asked for. She went to the UK, took the belts. She's undisputed in 3 weight divisions. No man is undisputed in more than one in the men's boxing. Give her a credit, Jim. Nothing you could say. Great performance. She's a history maker. Now she's going back to MMA. I can't say enough. I hate the fact it's a shame that she has to go to MMA because
she has to now.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's where she makes the bulk of her money and the contract. She's there for a couple fights.
Smoking.
It's too bad the fight was on so late and they wouldn't let her dad watch it in the D block. Hey, listen, this was a poor attempt to be Apollo Creed. She didn't look good in the red, white, and blue for some reason. But hey, listen, this is one of my all-time favorite fighters. You know, I'm the only one on the planet that had her in the top 10 of all boxers, pound for pound. But I've never seen a fighter, and correct me if I'm wrong, Claudio and Luther, I've never seen a fighter that hit with so much power but can't knock nobody out. I can't understand it. I mean, maybe she's just fighting people with iron jaws, but
she's not fighting bums.
But she is. She has so much power, and she gets so much on her punch, but she can't knock anybody out. I don't know.
Maybe you got to give them credit.
Yeah, listen, she's not fighting these women, these housewives that some of these other. Every fight that she's fought was for a belt or somebody ranked in the top 5.
Quality.
Her first fight was Francois Dezern Cruz, who has a belt now. So she didn't fight bums. If she was fighting bums, she'd be getting them out.
And a lot of guys, Luther and Jim, you know yourself, whether it's girls or guys fighting, in the beginning of their careers, they're fighting guys like Torres did. Yeah. That's a knockout for Torres, but were you impressed? No. She fought people that were good.
Everybody she fought was good. She
quality.
Came out fighting.
She's only got, what, 13
opponents.
fights or whatever, but they're quality opponents.
Well, maybe you guys didn't hear what I said. Let me repeat it. I've never seen a fighter with so much power that doesn't have more knockouts. Jim, I just can't understand.
And Jim, one thing you have to understand, you know there's only 2 minutes in women's boxing.
Good point.
So it's a shorter time.
How long you need to knock somebody out?
Listen, sometimes it's an accumulation of punches. Her knockouts have come from an accumulation.
Savannah Marshall's fighting the same people.
No, she's not fighting.
She's got 10, 12 wins and 10 knockouts.
She's not fighting the same people. We can go through record by record. She's fighting people 3 and 12. Okay. She's fighting some housewives.
You didn't understand my question, but I've never seen it.
First of all, it wasn't a question, it was a statement.
Well, my prediction for the fight was late round stoppage due to a bunch of accumulation of punches. Yeah. But you got to give Marshall credit. She took the punches. Okay, but again, she's not Shields is not a one-punch knockout artist. But maybe she is against the right opponent. You know what I'm saying? She fought people, like Luther said, quality people with chins, I'm sorry. Now, some observations of the fight, as I always take notes.
Before you go there, maybe if she'd have went 6 weeks without sex, she'd have knocked her out.
It upset her more. I told you gave him a softball. I liked her hand speed. And one thing I think we you didn't question, but you just weren't sure was her chin. She took some shots and she didn't get knocked down.
Where was the
And so
blue hair? Where's the blue hair?
She didn't need it.
It was the blue hair. She had it buttoned up, Jim. She always wears blue hair.
The thing that I noticed
for
about
Flint water,
Marshall,
to fix the
though,
water in Flint, Michigan, Jim.
Luther, and I know you always focus a lot on the trains. Her left was down, and she threw a long jab. Okay, instead of keeping it up, what do they tell you? Keep your left up and jab from. It was down here. She went bump, bump, like in hitting in baseball. I talk about short, quick swing. From point A to point B, you want to be quick. You don't want an elongated swing, a wrap, they call it in baseball. In her case, she didn't wrap. She didn't do this, but she had it down. And Shields exposed that. Shields could clock her, and by the time she get up to block it, too late. Why wouldn't they tell her, get your left up? Get your left up. You know, and Shields scored a lot on that. But I was very impressed with it. And the thing that I wanted to know was, because there was a hell of a size difference, when she ate the jab, how would she react? And she punched back. I was talking about Hollifield. You hit Evander, he's coming right back. Okay, and so I was really impressed with Clarissa Shields a lot.
Great
I
fight.
would
Great
not,
fight.
although again, I'm not riding the fence here. I always talk about the business end of it. I get the fact that she's going to go to MMA and make more money, but I wouldn't risk it because if she loses like she did before, if she gets cut, I think it's going to hurt her chances in boxing. And she has a chance to be the dog in boxing.
Clark, first of all, she already is the dog.
More attention.
Maybe she
You
could
know
be more popular, but she's already the GOAT. She's
yes,
the greatest
yes.
one of all time. Matter of fact, she's on her way to maybe doing things no boxer has ever
Okay.
done. 3-time undisputed.
Right.
She ain't
Right
the
now,
greatest.
But let me ask you both a
right now
question.
she's undisputed in 3 different
Right.
weight
She ain't
the
classes.
greatest
Who
woman
else?
boxer.
Well, who is?
Let me ask you both
Who's
a question.
under?
Ali was
No,
better.
no.
In one
Let me
division.
ask you guys a question
She
real
didn't
quick.
have undisputed in
Who
3 different
does everybody
divisions.
talk about in the history? They talk about Christy Martin and Layla Ali. Now, Christy
And
Martin.
Wolf should get some more
and
credit
Wolf,
too.
yeah.
And
Yeah,
Wolf should get some
but what were
credit
they?
too.
The coal miner's daughter, the rough talk,
Right.
and Layla Ali, obviously last name, but she lived up to it, and she was a very pretty girl. Shields needs to, in my opinion,
She can't draw.
but she's gonna. But now she fought Marshall.
No, she still can't draw.
She's only 27, so going to MMA. could
Only?
build
There
her-
has to be a game plan better than going to MMA.
Yeah, I
Savannah
agree.
Marshall's
I agree with
31.
you. I agree with you.
There has, and she has a story. Okay, they have to get the story out. They have to do more promoting. Since you're signed, if you're signed, as you said, fight the MMA. But it's too risky, Jim, because if she gets cut, if she gets beat again, it's not
Can we send the deacon into the jail to interview her dad to get the story out?
You deacon?
Free Mr. Marshall Shields or whatever his name is.
terrible.
Well, again, I was very impressed with Shields, and it was a great night for ladies boxing.
Very good
Also
night.
included on that undercard, it was a big fight.
Can we just all agree?
that?
She's 27. If she's fight till she's 37, she still won't be a draw. She just don't
Jim,
have it.
you don't
I'm
know
hoping
what.
so.
You don't know
And
what.
I love her. I'm
Jim,
the only
you don't,
one.
You don't know what could I. All
Well,
you do
I'm
is
just-
slander.
I'm just- all I-
Anytime you say you love somebody, you slander. So that it doesn't mean the same thing. Listen, she's 27. Her profile can get bigger. Maybe she can get on some of these undercards of a Wilder or of a
That would
Spence
help. That
or
would
a
help. Here we
Canelo.
go.
That's what I'm saying.
Here we go subsidizing
And you know what I'm
the
going to say?
women.
Get on shows. Let people know your
Thank
story.
you.
Get on
Thank
these
you.
interviews.
That's the only thing that might help.
What'd she do after the fight? She started crying. For me.
She cried?
Yes. She was very emotional. For me, I like that. Okay? She's showing a different side of her. Yes, during the press conference, she was mouthing off and all that. Yeah, that's what you got to do. But she's a human being. She has a story. She hurts. There's a lot of girls out there who've been through what she's been through. There's guys who've been through it too. But there's girls who say,
What was she through? What did she go through?
There's a lot of read the story, Jim. It's a lot of hard. Flint, Michigan. There's a lot of stuff going on. The water's still not right. There was some issues with family.
I thought maybe
a
she
lot
was
of
watching
things.
the
Personal
news from
issues.
Detroit.
But like I told you again with Buster, I knew who he was. Liked him. He was all right. But then when I heard his story,
Yeah.
bang, that's my
Yeah.
boy. That's it.
Yeah.
There's girls out there who can be attracted to her, and if they're attracted to her, what are they going to do, Luth?
Yeah.
They're going to buy her. They're going to buy her pay-per-views and stuff like that. Promote the hell out of her.
Yeah, 'cause
you should have a team.
Because
You
right
have your
now she
trainer.
can't draw. We can agree
Okay,
on that.
Jim,
all right.
how many times you gonna say that? It's
I'm
like
just
a broken-
saying,
It's
I'm
like a broken record.
Luther,
Can
you
we
have
stop?
a-
Can we fix the record?
Luther,
change
you have
the
a
record?
cut man. You have this man. You have that one. Promote PR.
I like what
Listen,
Claudio's saying. I like what
True,
Claudio's saying.
but boxing, we talk about the men. It's not being pushed here. And women's boxing, you think about it, she had to go to the UK to get these big fights. Alicia Baumgartner had to go to the UK
Hook up with
to
your
get
boy,
these fights.
Jake
Alicia
Paul,
could get it
right?
anywhere. Alicia could get it anywhere.
Jake
Well,
Paul?
she had to go over there too.
Would Jake Paul be able to help her?
Possibly, he helped Amanda Serrano.
That's what I'm saying.
But
Madison
again,
Square
Amanda
Garden.
Serrano's
Yep.
daughter,
Yes, sir, Jim.
was mainly in
But
the UK.
there's nobody in the history. What's Marlon
we
and
go.
Bailey?
Barnum and Bailey.
They can't help her get pumped. She just ain't got it, dude.
Yet.
But she got all the ability in the world. She's one of my top 10 fighters in today, men or women.
Jim,
but she
I'm
just
telling-
don't have the
Jim,
charisma.
but listen, Jim,
Thank you,
things
Jimmy.
can happen, Jim. You know. things
Okay,
can
you
happen,
mentioned
things can change.
Alicia
Hater.
Baumgartner. Split decision against Michaela Mayer. Baumgartner is now 17-0 with 5 knockouts. Mayer is now 12-1-7. She won the unified super feather. Your thoughts on the fight?
Yeah, I mean, I was impressed. It was Michaela Mayer got off to a very slow start, and that's what caused her to fight.
Yeah.
I thought Baumgartner would win because of the power. Both ladies came in there at the top of their game, but Alicia Baumgartner, she moves well.
She sure does. Look at that jab.
Yeah.
Not sloppy,
And
short,
it's
quick.
a powerful jab. She has a good right. What messed her up, she started playing in the middle rounds, laughing and playing, and Michaela was sticking that jab.
Right.
So it was a great fight, but Baumgartner, the power shot, she hit it with cleaner punches. It could have gone either way. I would like to see a rematch.
Yes,
but
I'm with you.
Baumgartner says she wants to go for undisputed.
How you pronounce that?
Chloe,
yeah.
I guess. So make it happen. But Michaela Mayer is right in the mix. If she didn't get off to a slow start, maybe she could have won. But that slow start was damaging. And did you see the work? Tony Harrison was masterful in the corner. When he saw the fight starting to slip away, he got it in Alicia Baumgartner's ears and said, "Hey, you're losing it. I need you to stick out the jab and stand there. Stop moving so much. She's catching you when you're moving." Tony Harrison is going to go down as a great trainer. I like what he did in that corner.
Excellent points. Excellent points. I agree with everything you said, including I think there should be a rematch. But I think there's going to be a rematch. I think once Baumgartner beats Choi, let's pronounce it that way, then I think Mayer will get a rematch. I agree with you. She got off to a slow start, but and she was able to score at once. I think Baumgartner kind of lost some focus, and then
She
Harrison
started
put her back.
playing. She was
Right.
laughing,
Can't do that.
smiling, and
Can't do that.
Michaela picked up some confidence,
Right.
and then Tony Harrison got on her, and then she picked it up towards the end.
But the thing that I was most impressed with this fight, the Marshall Shields fight, when you saw fights with female boxing when it first started getting popular with Christy Martin, there was no sloppiness.
This was
There was no
high-level boxing.
bad punches.
High
There was
level.
Right. The boxing IQ was there. But if you look at Mayer and even this one we're talking about now with Baumgartner, the nice jab, overhand right. They didn't stand there, admire their punches. They look good. They're being trained well. But they also, you can train all you want, but if you don't have the physicality, the fluidity that you and I talk about in our sports, respective sports, baseball and football, they look good. Both those fights, all these women fights have been looking very good, so I give them a lot of credit.
Give them some
Should
credit,
be
Jim.
a fight.
Give them some credit.
Well, first of all, it sounded like Luther didn't even see the fight. But listen.
We know you didn't see the fight. Go ahead and make up something,
Before
Jim.
the fight, Clarissa Shields told Baumgartner that she can't beat Meyer, so she can't even make predictions right.
Where was that
what
at,
I
Jim?
seen-
Where was that at? You made more some smoke, SMZ.
Smokepedia.
Made that up.
Hey, listen, what I seen in the fight was that, listen, Meyer's a great fighter, but she couldn't get away from that overhand right. You know, her face was right there on the line. Fast combinations from my baby, Baumgartner. Counter punches was there. But the thing that impressed me the most, it was almost like Joe Frazier, who was blind in his left eye his whole career. In 1971, Joe Frazier, there wasn't nothing Muhammad Ali could do to hurt Joe Frazier. He wasn't going to be hurt that night. And Alicia was not going to be, she was focused. There was nothing, she could have got hit with a baseball bat and she was still coming. She wanted that fight, she was so hungry. It was a split decision. I didn't like Meyer walking away from the referee because she was disappointed about the decision. I don't want to see a rematch. I don't want to see, I don't want to put my baby back in harm's way. But I was proud of this fight. This is a fighter that the boxing fans could get behind.
Well, that's my question to both of you. But before I ask, Luther, do you agree? That's a good point. But do you agree with me? I think that Baumgartner will fight Choi. Okay,
whatever, yeah.
But then she wins that fight, which I think she will. then Mayer will get a rematch.
Right. Yeah.
You agree with
that's
that?
fine. That's fine. I don't mind that, and then that could be for undisputed
Okay.
for all the
All
belts.
right. Now,
But can
something
Mayer hold that weight? She's pretty tall.
She's
Does
tall
gotta
and
go-
thin. She's
does
tall
she gotta
and
go-
thin. I
does
think
she
she
gotta-
can keep
does
it.
she gotta
Yeah.
go? How would you?
She didn't look. No, wait a minute. What's his name?
No, Devin X. Devin
looked-
X can't make it.
No, Haney looked kind of drawn in.
Right,
The first
she-
thing Luther said. Mayer did not.
No,
she
but
looked
this
good.
is- she could make that
She-
weight.
all her pictures look the
frame,
same.
Yeah, she's not.
Remember
sitting
Roberto
there-
Duran sometimes would be a little bit heavy, and then he would look good for the fight. He had to lose all that weight. Mayer looks the same all
Right,
the
right.
fights.
It's not like she puts on a bunch of
Right.
weight and loses it.
Now, Bumgarner's a draw. Mayer's a draw. Marshall apparently she's a draw out
In
that
the
way.
UK.
Now, what can we talk about? Will Shields eventually be an upper echelon draw?
No.
Listen, in this country, Bumgarner had to go to the UK. Most of her fights have been in the UK. Out of the 12 fights that she's had, they've been mostly in the UK because, women's boxing isn't being supported here enough. So
Maybe if
I think
Shields
they
go to
both can.
Zaire. She's just Lou.
Jim,
She's
it is
just
what
not
it
a
is.
draw. Why can't you admit that?
I'm not. It doesn't matter to me. I care about what's
No,
happening
we
in the
answer
ring.
you a question.
She-
We
she-
want to answer.
She may not be a draw, a big draw, but
No, she's not a
done
draw at
enough.
all.
Okay,
She's not a draw at all.
It looked like there was a big crowd in the UK for
Yeah,
that fight.
thank goodness for
Well, whatever. It looked like there
thank
was a
goodness
crowd
for
there.
Marshall.
And
yeah.
she was in the main event.
You know what though? As long as she's a part, she may need an opponent to lift the
Yeah,
draw.
yeah, yeah. She
That's
needs
just
several.
for right now. But that's okay.
Exactly.
That's all
Put
right.
her on Bumgarner's undercard. She'll always get a crowd.
But I do agree. Back to our
She's a
original.
bigger sell
No,
over
she's
there.
not.
Yes, they can't listen. If Michaela Mayer and Bumgarner were the headline, it would not have been that crowd. The crowd came for Shields and Marshall. Marshall is a
don't
big
know
draw over
nothing
there.
But the Dominican Republic.
Please, if you follow the sport, you'll see that. So Savannah Marshall was signed to Floyd at first, right?
No,
you do.
I didn't
Yeah,
know
she
nothing about
was,
that.
but she moved over there, and the UK has backed her up.
She was smart
She
getting
left.
away from him.
How important was this for? Well, not just this fight, but the Serrano-Taylor fight.
I
and
think
now
this whole year, and this is why women's boxing is becoming bigger than ever before, Jim. Madison Square Garden here. They're in the O2 Arena in the UK. 2 major fights. This court was
Events,
full
yeah.
of women.
Which leads to my question. I'll try to ask it properly. Obviously women's boxing didn't catch men's boxing, but did it climb more rungs of popularity than the men's did this year so far?
I believe so, because you had the best fighting the best. You had great cards, and everybody was at the top of their game. No blowouts. Everybody left it all in the ring. Yes, it's catching up, because when you have the best fighting the best, everybody's putting their all into it. Hey, you can't beat it. There's no A side, B side. People like Jim, I want more money. You're the B side, 70-30,
70-30.
60-40. No, you're the best, I'm the best, let's make it happen. That's how boxing should be. It's the purest form, not this money stuff that Jim likes to talk about.
What I look at
Pocket watching.
is 3 out of the 4 fighters had under 13 fights. Career fights. Number one, this remind me of the ESPN era. This was a Tuesday night fight. I mean,
Really?
it's because
The crowd
listen,
says otherwise, Jim.
But
These are
the,
the best
the,
of
crowd, the crowds came out for the Tuesday night fights, the ESPN belt.
That's
That's
that
where
crowd-
they're at
that
right
crowd
now.
was-
The women's
no.
boxing was down for so long,
Right, and it's coming
since
up big
Layla
time.
Ali and them put it on the map. That now it's starting to come up, but it's coming up to the level of what ESPN was like 30, 40 years ago when you didn't miss those Tuesday night fights. These girls are still learning how to fight. 13
I'll tell you
fights
what.
and
I'll
under.
tell you what.
That-
Bumgarner, she looked damn good to me.
all
She
four
threw some nice
of
jabs.
those women,
Yes, but I'm
it
just
was
saying,
high level.
Right, but I mean, Shields took some hits and she
Christy
came back.
Martin, Sue Wolf, and Layla
And
Ali
Wolf.
would beat all of them.
Well, I'm not.
We'll beat
but
all of 'em.
We're going to go to our top. Matter of fact, that's what we're going to do. We're going to lead into that. We're going to do our women's pound for pound. We'll make some comments prior to that when we come back to the boxing authorities. Welcome back to the Boxing Authorities. We are going to do our first ever women's pound for pound. But before we do that, you just mentioned Christy Martin, Wolf, and Layla Ali. Okay, but who else can you mention during that era?
Bunch of them. Bunch
Well,
of them.
This one here is deep. I'll say I think this is deeper now.
Oh,
As
yeah.
of October of
barely,
2022.
we barely found 10. We barely
You
found
couldn't find 10
No,
for
I
years.
could find 100 back then.
Okay,
I could
name
find
them, Jim.
100.
Now,
Name 'em,
they
name 'em.
separated themselves. Okay, like is Shields that much better than a Hammer? You know what I'm trying to say? Ali, Martin were much better than the ranked 5 or 6.
They were fighting house.
no.
I mean, they would go in there and fight girls that couldn't throw punches.
That's like saying
you know, that
Rocky
was high level.
Marciano was that much better. Yeah, Layla Ali, in the air, she would clean up. Christy Martin in the air. Sue Wolf
They'd
in the air.
they'd have tougher fights now with these women because they're
No,
training.
I'm not saying they wouldn't
still
beat
learning
him.
how to
We're
fight.
not saying they
13
would
fights.
beat. And one thing I
13 fights is
disagree.
still learning.
And what he said.
I think Joe Frazier's daughter could give most of these.
Well, but
No,
what
she
Luther
wasn't
said,
very
and I
good,
mentioned
Jim.
it again, just
She
those
had a
4
name,
fights.
was only fighting because her name.
Yeah,
She
just
wasn't
those
good.
4 fighters, Marshall, Shields,
ESPN Tuesday Night Fights.
go
Baumgartner
slandering.
and Mayer. They did not look sloppy.
Right. You
They
saw
didn't,
high
they
level.
didn't get
You
stuck.
saw people
They got
look-
hit and they didn't drop and look. all
And you
shut.
saw D.
Didn't
you saw
Bobby
them working
Chaz
behind
and them
it.
look good coming up on ESPN?
Yeah.
Animal
Jim,
Fletcher.
all right.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not
Hey,
knocking. I love
you're
that.
knocking 'em
That's
if you
where
say
they're at
that.
right
What's
now.
your point? So,
What is your point,
No,
Jim?
you're saying
What
you're
is your
trying to
point?
put them here. I'm saying they started here. Now they're at the ESPN Tuesday Night Fight level. Animal Fletcher,
I would have been
Silky
happy.
Nelson,
I think that they should
Bobby
have been.
Chaz,
Let me say this. I
Bang Bang Bogner.
Yeah, but here, Luther,
Mayweather.
Here's where he has a point as far as he mentions ESPN. I would have loved
Roger
made
Mayweather.
They made more money with the pay-per-view, but I would have liked to have seen them on regular TV fight more. This way, people can follow them more. You know what I'm trying to say? I think it would help the sport out as a whole.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I think if it was,
I think women's
more
boxing
ESPN, but it's bigger than ever. You know, you never
No,
had.
no.
question,
It's
Luther.
bigger
Bigger
than ever.
than it was 10 years ago.
But it was just
when all-
Christy
when-
Martin and Ali. That was it.
That was 2.
No, Wolf.
Okay,
said Wolf.
name me some more.
Wolf.
Hold on, Luther.
There's about 100 I
Go
can
ahead,
name.
go
There's
ahead.
about 100.
Name
We
them.
don't
Go
have.
ahead.
Where's only a
'Cause you
45
don't
minute
have
show.
them.
This is a
Because you
45
don't have
minute
them.
Give him an
show.
L, Luther. He writes an
45
X. Hey,
minutes.
Luther, he writes an
I'm gonna
X.
put an
Give me an
L.
L. Give me an L.
You want me to bring the names next show?
No.
No, now.
No, if there were so many, you'd be able to throw
So
them off.
many, so
All right,
many.
You would be able to tick them off. You
Our
name
women's.
3.
He's ticking us
Did you
off.
get
Right.
10? Did you get 10
Yes,
out of here?
easy.
But it's,
Easy
yeah,
10.
yeah. I barely got 10.
Maybe he,
'Cause
maybe
you don't
he
know
did
the
have
sport.
let's just say he ripped your pages out. When
Yeah,
he, found out. He was leafing through. He knows everything now about you. All right, women's pound for pound, Mr. Dupree.
Starting for number 10. 10A.
10A.
I have Tika Hemingway, who's from around here. You know.
cheating.
Cheating on my
Yeah,
list.
right. I would never cheat off of that trash. But she's from around here, hasn't had a lot of fights. She fought Clarissa Shields in the amateurs, gave Clarissa her toughest test in the USA. They have a little history. I'd like to see her get that fight a grudge match. But
She
she's
refuses
10A.
to fight.
Also, number 10, Francois Cruz de Zern. She's another one. She's undisputed. In fact, she was at the fight. She was cheering Clarissa Shields on. She fought Clarissa Shields in the first fight. And now she has undisputed at her weight division. Number 9, I have Christina Hammer. Christina Hammer, another one. Shields beat her, conventionally. Nice look. Great skill. She didn't look like that after the Shields fight because Shields put some work on her. Number 8, Hannah Gabriels. Very, very, another
He's
great
doing his
boxer.
homework, Jim.
She is one of the few ones who put down Clarissa Shields in her pro career. She dropped her on her butt, and then Clarissa Shields went to punish her for the next 9 rounds. But she has a belt as well. Number 7, Delphia Persoon. Very, very good fighter. Over 40 wins, just only 3 losses. Number 6, I have Katie Taylor. Katie Taylor's a little older. I thought she lost against Amanda Serrano, but they gave it to her. She's avoiding a rematch. You lose points on that for me. Number 5, Jessica McCaskill. Katie Taylor got a win over her. I thought Jessica should have got that, but I have Jessica McCaskill out of Chicago. She's talking about she'd like to fight Clarissa Shields at some point. I don't see it. Number 4, I have Michaela Mayer. She dropped on my list because she lost to Alicia Baumgartner. Great jab, great look. She wears the red. She has a great story. Dad's in the corner. I like her trainer. He gave her great advice. Number 3, Alicia Baumgartner. We saw her this weekend. very, very easy on the eyes. She comes in there dancing. She came in to dance in the Cardi B. Jim, you should like that. The Bomb.
He don't know who Cardi
Bomb
B is.
Squad. She has it all. She has power. She has the look. She could be the next big star to take boxing to the next level. Number 2, I have Amanda Serrano. I think she was robbed against Katie Taylor. She sold out the Madison Square Garden against Katie Taylor. Jake Paul has done wonders for her career.
Only Puerto Rico could do that.
Yeah, well, she sold it out, and I think she was robbed, but she's definitely a number 1. You have to go to Clarissa Shields, undisputed in 3 weight divisions. No man in history, no woman in history has done it.
No
3 divisions,
no fans in that picture.
undisputed in 3. Jim, you keep downplaying her. All I'm saying is what she does in the ring has not been done before. She could take a punch. She has the heart of a champion. And what can you say? Clarissa Shields, the GOAT, greatest woman of all time, maybe the greatest of all time when she's done. Top 10.
Mr. Frazier.
Well, I tell you what, the reason I love so much talking about women boxing
I can't tell.
is because it gives Luther an opportunity to give white folks some credit. Hey, listen, number 10, Tika Hemingway, won't fight
copy
nobody.
of my list.
Won't fight nobody. I don't know if it's because of Roy Jones Jr. won't let her fight, or she won't
Here
fight.
he goes, ripping the fighter down.
2 professional fights.
He likes her, though.
2 professional fights in 4 years. Estrada at number 9. Number 8, Christina Hammer.
At least we got a full name there.
Number 7, Delphine Pursoon. How about number 6? One of my favorite Puerto Ricans, Amanda Serrano.
Oh, that's too low.
Number 5, where am I going to put her over? Katie Taylor. Katie Taylor, number 5. Number 4, Savannah Marshall. Can't put her ahead of her.
I think the more you lose, the more he raises you up. But go ahead.
Number 3, Michaela Meyer, who I love. Lou says she got a good story. Number 2, and I think she's the face of women's boxing. She, instead of going to MMA, she can go to the WWE and be a superstar as well. Alicia Baumgardner. And number 1, I think she's one of the greatest fighters on the planet. She's the only female I have in the top 10 pound for pound, men
here
or
come the
female.
slander.
But
Clarissa Shields.
Clarissa.
He can
You just give a new name,
He
Jim.
can butcher some names. All right. We're about in the same ballpark. You had a couple that I really considered hard but didn't put them in. Number 1 is for 10. I can't put Tika in. She hasn't fought enough.
True.
Okay, so I didn't even
Hometown. That was a little hometown bias by Jim and me.
Number 10, I'm going to go with Delphine Pursoon. 47 wins, 3 losses, 19 knockouts, lightweight. She's in the ring. She fights a lot. And her experience, I think, is extremely important, especially against some of the younger girls. But she's number 10. Number 9 is Christina Hammer, the super middleweight champ. She's 28-1-13. Savannah Marshall dropped a lot for me to number 8.
Wow.
That may have been a little bit too much of a drop, but I like the other girls a little bit better. And you know what? I think she has room to improve, a lot of room to improve. With that jab.
She's 31, was talking about possibly retiring.
If she's got
Can I
enough
ask you
money.
guys a question, not to interrupt you, Claudia? What are we supposed to call them? Female, women, ladies, girls? Is there a proper name?
I guess
It's women's boxing.
So we should call them women?
It's women's boxing and
Women?
female boxers.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He's trying to be right as opposed to how he
now,
usually is.
now you want to be politically
Yeah,
correct.
right.
6
Too late.
wins. Jim,
Too
you
late.
ain't never been politically correct your whole TV career.
That's what made him.
FCC has censored you how many times?
Michaela Mayer, number 7. I hated to drop her so low, but I'm going to drop her. She's 12-2-5. She looked good the other day, and some people say she won the fight. I don't know about that, but again, like she got off to a slow start.
She's 17. She's 17-0-5.
What'd I say?
Yeah, 12. You gave her. You gave Alicia. Alicia's 12-1.
Okay, my fault. Yeah. I got it right here. 17-1. My fault. Okay. Jessica McCaskill. She's a welter, undisputed at 12-2 with 5 knockouts. I like her as well. Number 5, Sinicia Estrada, junior flyweight. She's 22-0-9. Very skillful. I like her. Moves well, can hit. She's an accumulative person. She doesn't have a big punch, but I like her a lot. Number 4, Alicia Baumgardner in climbing, unified junior lightweight, 17-0-5. Right? No, she's the 12.
She's the 12, yeah, she's 12, 1 and 7.
Thank you for
yeah.
correcting me, yes. I like her a lot. I think she's got star written all over her. She's the type of boxer, female boxer, women's boxer that can carry the division. Okay, she's going to only get more attendance, more attention. And I think she knows how to garner that, pardon the pun.
Yeah.
I know she knows how to garner that attention. She knows how to do it. She doesn't need a PR team. She's going to be good at that. Amanda Serrano, even though she lost that last fight, controversial, I like her a lot.
Yeah.
She's been around a while. People know who she is. Saw at Madison Square Garden, 42-2-1. Classy lady. I like her a lot. Number 2, you have to put Katie Taylor a little bit above her because she won the fight. She's lightweight undisputed, 21-0-6. Number 1 is Clarissa Shields. She's the best out there right now. I like to see more of a team behind her to let people know who she is. You know what I'm saying? Yes, sir.
I got a question.
You in school now, Jim?
Yeah,
Raising your
I got a
hand.
question. Say Floyd Mayweather, for example. I'm just saying this is a hypothetical. Say if Floyd Mayweather says, I identify myself as a woman now. Can he fight women or just use their restroom? I'm just saying.
That's out of your pay
I'm
grade,
just
Jim.
saying. When is the draw? Because you got athletes in the Olympics that was a man last year that identified themselves as a woman, and they're winning wrestling and everything else. How does that work for
We're boxing. We're not
Well,
politicians.
luckily
whatever
we
they
haven't
do.
run into that issue yet,
Yeah.
because all these women are women. We're born
So
female.
you don't know? You don't know?
Well, we haven't run into that issue, Jim. You try to make a political
No,
statement.
I'm just asking.
Nah,
I'm trying.
you act
I like to learn.
You act like this is the Herschel Walker debate. Come on, you Herschel Walker out here
Herschel Walker.
asking that. We just came up with our top 10. You come with a badge
He
like
scares me when he does
like
that.
Herschel Walker bringing props.
That watch
on,
might be
Jim.
the badge. I don't know.
You're the Herschel Walker of the boxing authority.
Your thoughts on our top 10, our thoughts on each other's top 10. I told you there was a few I could have included.
Well, one, let me say this. ESPN's top 10 list, as usual, was trash for the women. How do you not have Clarissa Shields? They haven't had her on there for years.
They don't have Haney on there, so
I
enough
wonder
said.
if they have her on there now.
Right.
Can she get number 1 on ESPN? But I like my list. I think you guys had some solid names. And we were all pretty much in the same ballpark. I think number 1, 2, and 3 is all interchangeable, but I think we're good with that.
Let me ask you this. On your book, the one that he saved today, he could have just let it go blow in the wind.
I should have flushed it down,
Okay.
the, down the chute.
Is this, you talk about the heavyweight division. You have 30 people written on there. Okay?
Yeah, 35.
All right. Is this as deep? No, first of all, it ain't no damn 30 heavyweights that have a shot for the title. But do you agree that this is a very deep, women's boxing is very deep? Now,
Well,
I know we're talking about the heavyweights there, but as a whole.
Well, I agree with you guys here that it took a lot to find 10. That's why we got Tika Hemingway with 2 fights on here, 2 fights in 4
you have a
years.
point. Some guys have 13 fights.
I
Some
mean, you
girls-
guys are saying it's on the rise. You guys
Yes.
are not. You guys think I'm disrespecting.
You are.
But some of my favorite fighters fought on that Tuesday night ESPN card. That was the thing, you know, Animal Fletcher.
Okay, so what's your
Bang Bang
correlation
Bangler
to
and all
that? What's your correlation to the women's boxing today?
They're nowhere near the talent and level when Layla Ali and those guys.
But who was Leia's big fights? Go.
Christy Martin
And
Frazier's
right,
daughter.
right.
You're
Go ahead,
wrong.
what else?
You're
But
wrong.
Who else? Who else?
You're wrong.
Who else?
That was a great. There was so many great fighters. See, you guys live in the United States. Most of the great women fighters, just like most of the
Who,
great
Jim?
women in the Olympics,
Ann Wolf.
was in Russia, was in the other countries. Those.
MMA was
just
much
because
bigger
there
than
wasn't-
female.
I say there's better fighters in the United States now, but worldwide they can't even come close to when Layla Ali and them fight.
Listen, Jim
And
is
you
wrong.
can still only find 10 in all weight
Jim,
classes.
you're wrong again.
Well,
Yes,
you got Tika Hemingway as number 10?
I have her 10B.
you barely
10B.
defined 10.
10B. Anyway, listen, here's what it is. We
Roy
had some
Jones
great
doing
fighters
another great
back
job.
then. Layla Ali, Christy Martin, and Wolf. But right now, the skill level, the
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
competitiveness,
You're
you had
crazy.
straight
You're
blowouts
crazy.
back then because you had a great
You're
fighter like
crazy.
Layla Ali.
that's why it wasn't-
fighting a woman
You're
who
crazy.
just went to 2 trainings.
That's
And that's why it wasn't
disrespectful.
popular.
That's why
It wasn't
it was a
competitive,
blowout.
right?
That's
It was like
It wasn't
Butterbean. It
competitive.
was Butterbean just
Right.
knocking
Oh,
out
after a while,
they
Jamaica
put Christy Martin on the other card because she was fighting bums. Get out of here, man.
But she wasn't.
She
Your memory,
I'm
forgetting.
Listen, you remember her, but
Who
you can't
else?
remember great fights. She was dominating, knocking out
She
women.
was fighting great fighters.
Who?
Everybody she fought.
Other than
on
Layla
that-
Ali,
on
who?
that undercard.
Other than
Don
Layla
King
Ali,
wasn't
who?
put her- huh?
He was making money. It was a novelty back then.
You name
Who?
me. Listen, most of the great athletes was European, in Russia, in the UK. That's
Jim,
where the great women.
Jim,
Luther, am
once
I wrong?
again,
Listen,
every time you're
they-
wrong,
they would say-
anytime Jim was wrong, he jumps to
would-
another
listen,
country.
they
Well,
would
they
say-
was from
they would
Germany.
always say
they was
that
from
those
Russia,
women in
but
the
you
Olympics,
can't give us the names.
They would always
give
say
us the
those
names,
women
Jim.
in the Olympics
give us
was
the
on
names.
something, taking steroids or hormones and hormones.
Well, listen, we just had Carter Ben test positive, and this is
I'm
2020.
talking women.
So when
I'm
you
talking
so
women.
for a
With a
female
female
drug.
drug.
I'm talking women.
Well, he tested positive with a female drug.
Okay,
Listen,
so-
I mean, listen, Jim. Anytime you take a L, you try to change it. You
I'm
try to
not-
go
Do you
out in
think
the
that
States.
those days were hurt?
You misremember.
Because, like you said, there were blowouts. Now they're more competitive.
Exactly. You actually get good.
Let me
fights.
ask you guys
You
this,
get a
this just hit
popular
me.
fighter. You get back then. If you were somebody's daughter, you were Ali's daughter,
Right, Frazier.
Frazier's daughter. You
Oh,
were automatically
that
put
didn't
up
help.
there. That boom.
They get your foot in the door.
Or the coal miner's daughter.
Okay, let me
That's
ask you
what I'm
guys a
saying.
better question. I asked you: is it climbing?
Please,
is it
please.
Did the male? Did the female catch the male?
No.
A better question. Obviously, they didn't catch. Obviously, I said they get closer, but this is a better question: is female boxing more popular today than MMA female? That was a hell of a question.
That's
was
a
great.
good question.
Thank you.
You know, I think not yet. I still think MMA because you have numerous cards where women are headlining MMA events worldwide. It's getting closer, but I don't think it's there yet because MMA supports their women a little more than boxers have. Boxing has done. I don't know. Well, one, Dana White is a major supporter.
Yeah.
Now, if you look at all the big promoters, Eddie Hearn has done pretty good promoting women's boxing.
Arum
That's
has
one of the
it.
good things he's done.
Arum
Arum
has it.
really has it, but he did have
PBC?
Michaela Mailer. PBC doesn't have any female boxing.
Arum has merit.
It's getting closer. Listen, the greatest boxing female I ever seen was a girl, Elizabeth Lewis, out of Uniontown, a black girl, light-skinned black girl. And she left boxing. I mean, she was great. She could have been the greatest. She could have been the next Layla Ali, but she left it for MMA. Ended up winning a few championships in MMA until her trainer went to jail for some R. Kelly stuff. and that ruined her career. But the young people,
You always
like
gotta
it.
throw some
I'm just
Smokopedia in
saying,
there.
I'm just giving a reason. to get
Where's the
somebody-
facts?
Could she see out of both eyes? Could she see out of both eyes? Oh man.
But hey,
Smokopedia.
Is
I
the
mean,
money? Okay, I asked you if the popularity.
Elizabeth Lewis, she'd have been
But
great.
is the
Stop.
money getting closer to MMA?
I believe so. I believe the
He's
money's
the
getting
pocket
bigger.
watch,
I believe,
okay.
I believe so.
Is the money
I'll let the
getting
pocket
closer?
watcher go to you guys.
And the attendance. How about the attendance? Madison Square Garden.
Thanks to a man, Jake Paul.
No, this I don't know. Did they ever fight MMA at Madison Square Garden? All female?
No, heck no.
Well, they
Heck
did a
no.
female.
Yeah, they wouldn't do that.
I mean, in boxing. I'm sorry. They
Yeah,
did
they
boxing.
did.
We
It's
did
getting
it.
closer.
And then the O2 Arena. I mean,
That's
these
big
were,
time.
These
Thanks
were
to
two.
Jake Paul.
Well, Jake Paul didn't have anything to do with this card.
Right.
This was.
But it's starting to get popular. He set the Olympic
No.
flame.
Listen, I give Jake Paul a lot of credit, but Amanda Serrano was trying to make her name. He put her on another level, yes.
If it
but
was
Katie
Floyd
Taylor,
Mayweather,
but
you would
Katie
give it to
Taylor was built with Eddie Hearn and the UK guys. So it's a combination of the
Well,
two.
somebody had to start the spark, and it was Jake Paul that started the spark.
That wasn't the spark. The spark
It's
was already
Madison
set.
Square Garden.
He added to it. He made it bigger. But
But they
was here
backed it up.
before.
He could have had all they wanted, but if
Thank
those girls didn't fight and have a good
Right.
show, he would say, "Ah, hell with it.
He would
I
always
tasted
put her
it.
on
I'm
a
done."
card. Yeah, he would always put her on a card.
Yeah, but I'm saying, but they
they'll
backed it up.
They'll MMA, UFC, women's boxing, men's boxing, none of it will ever be as popular as the WWE.
Okay, which leads to my next
Well, it
question.
has a billion
which
views
which is my next
on social
question.
media.
Entertainment.
And you like social
Entertainment.
media.
I think this may happen and it's going to hurt female boxing. A Bumgardner, a Shields, maybe not Marshall so much, Mayer. I think they're going to eventually get offered big money to go to WWE. And it's going to be more money, maybe more of a schedule, because you don't have to fight, twice. You have to fight more than twice a month. or twice a year. But it's a little less risky, I think,
Yeah.
facially
It's
and all
fair,
that.
yeah.
Do you agree?
No, I don't think a lot of them will go. I think there will be a
Is
few
that money?
because Ronda Rousey
Right,
has
that's
gone
what I'm
over
saying.
and made that
That's
move.
what I'm saying.
So not all of them will get offered. So maybe one or two may get
Because
offered.
they have the blueprint.
But those three-
What comes with the WWE? Movie star. You
Oh,
can become a
excellent
movie
point.
star.
Smoking.
Yeah, but I mean,
Adjacent
they're-
space opportunities, Greg Norman calls it. I call it spin-off business.
Yeah.
They're wrestlers. They go to the movies. Excellent point. You don't
Thank
hear that?
you.
Hey,
Thank
you don't hear it in boxing. How
That's
many
true.
boxers did that with Dwayne Johnson and all them guys doing? Vinny made
I think they tried to get
boom,
Leo
boom, did-
Spinks, but he couldn't get the line together.
But again, business comes first. Money comes first. I think I think some of them are going to shift over, and it's going to hurt
Possibly.
female boxing.
It's not going to hurt the sport.
If the big dogs leave?
No, because listen, that'll add more. Oh, they came from this sport. Maybe I'll go check it out.
You don't want
It'll
to
just
take
be a
an
few.
L. You'll never take an L.
It'll take a few. It's not going to hurt. Women's boxing's on the rise. Come on,
Oh,
guys.
it is. It is.
It's on
But
the
I
rise.
think
it's not
I
going
think
anywhere.
WWE scouts are going to see it.
You're prop.
We're going to do a
Herschel
plant
Walker.
dose, right? We're going to do a plant dose.
Herschel
with
Walker. We
the-
can't see out of there.
But real quick, I think that somebody from WWE is going to see that. Oh, and they're going to cheer. Let's get this girl, that girl, and that girl. They're going to go to WWE. and
You
that's
ever
gonna-
hear about the Chinese bamboo tree?
That's right, that's right.
That's where the women boxing
It
is now.
stays, it stays, but
It's
then-
another 20 years,
Right,
and then
it pops
boom,
up.
it'll
Very
pop
good.
up. Yeah.
Jim's on his game today, Luther. Give him some respect. My boy's coming up with some good stuff.
Clarissa Shields is a Chinese bamboo
Man,
tree.
Jim's impressing the hell out of me. All right, when we come back, our popular segment, the boxing mailbag. Right back with the boxing authorities. Very good. Welcome back to the Boxing Authorities, our popular segment, Boxing Mailbag. Please continue to send great comments and questions to boxingmailbag@yahoo.com or at claudiorelsano.com. You guys are a huge part of the show. All three, Ron from Corpus Christi. This is a great question. Do you think Sebastian Fundora has the ability to do a Canella, which means move up, down, win belts, go back down? Luth.
Of course, yeah, well, I know he can move up and down. Winning belts, he'd have to improve a couple things. But yeah, I mean, he's 6'6", fighting at 154. He can go up to 160, 168. And I think he has a chance to win belts in all those guys, all those
Limit
divisions.
168?
Yeah, I wouldn't go past 168.
Because that chin might not come up.
Right,
That
right.
neck won't come up.
But listen, he's you know, he can put a lot more weight. A couple steaks, he can go up to 175. I wouldn't
couple
suggest
bad-
it.
yeah, a couple
but
bad
yeah, he can
pieces of
definitely
meat.
win belts in all three.
Mr. Frazier.
I think in Sugar Ray Robinson, there's only one Canelo, and so no.
Oh, God.
I think he certainly can up to a point. Okay, this is a comment from me. Sam Youngstown. Claudio, I love hearing your thoughts on the history of boxers and fights. When did you start being a boxing fan? To be honest, I've heard you on other shows, and you seem to like to talk about boxing more than baseball. Baseball, obviously, I do it for a living. I love baseball, but for me to watch the way the game is coached and played now is hard. Now, I've been a boxing fan before I was a baseball fan. My dad was a huge boxing fan, so I always love talking boxing. I have a zillion and one baseball magazines at home, but I also have a zillion and one boxing magazines at home. So yeah, I do love talking boxing. Baseball, unfortunately, I'm more negative. I love talking baseball, but unfortunately, I'm a little bit more negative when it comes to that because I just don't like the way it's being coached and played. And if you don't believe me, watch the playoffs, and you'll see some crazy ass things being done that I just don't like. Okay. As always, we hope you enjoy our show as much as we enjoy bringing it to you. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Boxing Authorities.